Hi. Okay. Okay, so still day 34. Um, Going into the Venus sphere today. Um, it's the path of the tower. Right, so what I've been finding out as I've been walking around, it's almost been like going on a path working. Um, I find it basically what's happening is it's all happening when I'm patrolling my territory. So I kind of set this up, this trip up quite well, I think, so far. You know, going on to the physical plane. I mean, it's all following the basic pattern, but I mean, I'm really actually enjoying this, going from one sphere to the other. My body seems to sort of be happy with it as well, and there's a pattern that my body likes. There's parts of me anyway that like this, the structure of it. You know, it seems like a really useful structure to be able to use, um, you know, for learning purposes and stuff. You know, and it's like my body's like just getting on with it. Anyway, so what's happened today is I'm just going to say I'm also having a fast tomorrow, so I might also recommend that for you to have a fast. So I'm preparing for a fast by having a beer. Oh dear. No, I'm just having a beer and some like old food. I'm going to finish the day off with fruit to prepare for a fast tomorrow. I'll explain why that more about that tomorrow, I think. So walking around today, there's been various stuff. As I say, it's like a path working, so there's a bit too much to go into in detail. But one of the things that I've noticed is, according to what I'm thinking, and I guess this is when my knee starts playing up. Now, there's things about the knee when you get knee problems. It's connected with Capricorn, the knee, and therefore, in a sense, Saturn, responsibility, keeping that thing going, that Saturn body going on, stiff like face, um, and to not look too happy and not feel too happy in yourself, you know, at least on the surface. So I think I was letting some of my energies out a little bit, and the knee pains are to do with learning humility. You know, you have to get on your knee and be humbled. So, right, there's that. I still think I'm still having an altercation with Mercury, and you know, I'm trying to like really test him out because I know he's a trickster. You know, he's the magician card. He's a trickster. He's the thief. You know, I just don't trust him at all. But on the other hand, he's like the Buddha as well. You know, and the messenger of the gods. So there's a lot to weigh up and test out. You know, and it's a wrestling match really. We're having a wrestling match. You know, and it's good because we're getting to know each other well and that. And all of this whole month that we're doing now, these whole 30 days, are all going to be basically to do with these three spheres: the foundation sphere, like the sex sphere, um, the Mercury sphere, reason sphere, and the Venus sphere, the affection sphere and victory. Um, yeah, so right. So we're on the Venus day today, so it's another important day. There's this aspect of where I'm having to follow, and I'm connecting this with the Book of Job and the Leviathan. He makes a path to shine. You know, I was having to follow this certain path, and I met up with these. Well, I didn't meet up with them, but there was I went up a certain like dark alley kind of thing. And there was this couple of guys there looking a bit mean looking, wondering, like looking at me and saying, "What are you doing? Going in our territory?" You know. And just before that, all of a sudden, almost out of the blue, my knee suddenly started hurting about 10 meters before I got in. Well, a few meters, 10 meters before I got into view of these people as I went round a bend, and my knee suddenly started up. So, and I was sort of having to limp. And I thought, what's this? Is strange. And there wasn't actually a path. The shining path that I was supposed to follow, it went up into some like woods behind someone's house, you know, and I just thought I shouldn't be going up there. So I went carried on up this dark alley, and there was a couple of like mean-looking guys, and they really looked at me mean. Uh, and the limp came on, so it's like their energy was affecting my knee, so I had to limp past them. which reminded me of what Carlos Castaneda's book says when Don Juan tells him to that when you bring power back to where you live, you have to do it like an old man. You've got to act like an old man so you don't attract the wrong sort of attention. So Carlos Castaneda books are really quite interesting because of some of the knowledges that they've got in there. So I've also found that I can walk around with a limp, and sometimes it's a real But I also say again, it's like Mercury is the messenger of the gods teaching me a lesson. I can't go around blazing all this energy around, and walking around just normally, because it will just attract too much attention. The wrong sort of attention. So affecting a limp, can make a real lot of difference for you to be able to move around more effectively and use your energies more effectively in that without attracting the wrong sort of attention. So you could also get like a walking stick, and that would also potentially work as a magic wand and connect with the Mercury idea. Another thing, when I was going to get my beer, this woman there's always people outside this shop asking for spare change, and I said to her, if I had some spare change, I would just buy more beer, not give it to someone else to buy more beer. So I get fed up with these people reminding me that I haven't got much money all the time. Every time I go to get my beer, So she looked really uncomfortable while I was telling her this. As I was walking back home, I was thinking, these people. Next time I see them and they ask me, because I'm going to have a different answer each time. Next time I see them, I'm going to say to them, look, if I haven't got any spare change, but if I did have any spare change, I wouldn't give it to you because I'm completely convinced there's better things you could be doing than sitting here asking people for money. Then I thought to myself, right, well, what are the better things? There are better things they could do. They could be doing like real work, like what I'm trying to do here. But then I remembered, some people want to suffer. They make their lives miserable almost deliberately. Or you could say it's programming, but they're not trying to get rid of their programming. This is what this work is about. It's getting rid of the subconscious programming and the matrix programming. So what they're doing instead is they're leading themselves into suffering. Now these people want to suffer. This is what I realised. And when I realised that, I also realised, well, that's what hell is for. The hells need to be there because a lot of souls really want to suffer. So that's what hells are for these people, so they can go there and suffer as much as they want, to get the full measure of suffering, because they want it. And that, when I thought that, all the pain in my knees just totally went away, and I felt all strengthened again. So anyway, it's fasting tomorrow. I recommend fasting for tomorrow.